Welcome to Pastoral Theology Foundations 1. My name is Associate Professor Glenn Morrison. Topic 7, Henri Nouwen and Practical Theology. Henri Nouwen is one of the most renowned pastoral theologians of the 20th century. His writings have had a tremendous influence upon many Christians, both Catholic and Protestant, and also from people from other different religions. His themes are rich and diverse, such as being a wounded healer, reflecting about loneliness, solitude, community, being God's beloved, prayer, death, hostility, and sharing the gift of the heart, being poor in spirit, being poor in mind itself. So that sense of poverty of mind, poverty of spirit becomes essential to understanding how to give good pastoral care, that deeper sense of openness, so that our thoughts do not rush over constantly, but we free them up to listen to the world of the other, having a poverty of heart, that we just are able to put the other's heart before our own. So this speaks very much that Henri Nouwen's writings embrace the golden rule that we are called to love others as we love ourselves. In Hebrew, the better translation of it is, the very work of loving others is ourself. We are called then to journey into the other's shoes, and even further to be inside their skin. It's a deeper experience of bodiliness. Henri Nouwen's writings show this encounter of bodiliness. We suffer through the suffering of the other. We are wounded through the wounds of the other. We are healed through healing the other. We enjoy through the enjoyment of the other. In such a way, we show a deeper connectedness. Henri Nouwen himself, a Catholic priest born in Holland, he studied his master's in the US in psychology and taught at the great universities of Harvard, Yale, and Notre Dame. But he was able to find his true home at the L'Arche communities of faith. He spent a year with Jean Vanier in Trolly at the foundation place of the L'Arche communities to discern his life itself. And there, after teaching at many of the universities in the US, the great ones, he found his true home at L'Arche Daybreak in Canada. And being with a young man called Adam, he was highly disabled. And for Henri Nouwen, Adam was his spiritual director. He could not speak, but he was able to see a whole pastoral journey of faith, and Adam became of great value. He helped to heal Henri Nouwen of his wounds, in several of his wounds, especially the wound of loneliness and his desire for intimacy. And he was able, through Henri's writings, he shows how vulnerable and fragile our human condition is by sharing his story of faith itself. Practical theology as well can be seen through the lens of the writings of Terry Veiling. Terry is an Australian practical theologian from Queensland. He teaches at Australian Catholic University, and he's written a marvelous book on practical theology. And there he's not afraid to use, for example, even Jewish philosophers like Emmanuel Levinas, a very famous thinker who emigrated to France, and he was responsible for introducing existentialism and phenomenology. And he uses the writings of Martin Buber and Simone Weil. So we see here a great openness to faith itself, to bring the richness of Judaism to Christianity itself. So, for example, he relates the story of Martin Buber encountering a stranger who wanted to talk to him, but Martin didn't show too much interest, and later he realized that this stranger committed suicide. This was a great shock, a trauma. It changed his lives. And such trauma of meeting of openness to the stranger itself can help us to encounter the other's pain with compassion, something unheard of, an overwhelming surprise. And it's Nouwen's writings which bring this greater sense of an overwhelming surprise of encountering the other, and hopefully it will become and nurture a surprise of faith, of meeting Jesus in pastoral care, it is Jesus we meet through care for the other.